Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo and welcome to my scrapbook table. Today I'm scrapping two photos of a dear friend and me. One of her daughters took it for us when we were at the zoo. And I have this bright paper that has words about friendship on it. I'm backing it with a dark gray. There is a subtle pattern on the gray, but it doesn't really show up very much. It's got stars on it. And I have this other bold pattern that I got at the same time I got the friendship paper, because I thought those colors worked well together. They might actually be from the same line. I don't know. They've been in my stash for a long time, so I don't remember where I got them, when I got them, or who made them. And I cut this little strip, or I cut this strip a little bit short, so I had to split it there to give it just a little extra length, but that's going to be covered up with the second smaller photo. And I think next I'm going to go ahead and map my photos in white, yes. And I just put a tiny border around them because I wanted them to stand out against that dark gray and against the bold background paper. And as I look at it now, the mat, one edge of the mat on the smaller one is a lot different than the other three edges, but so be it. And now I realize I need a little bit more of that dark paper. And so in just a minute, you're going to see that I cut some out of where the larger photo is going to sit. I'm marking it there with my pencil. And at home, I have a trimmer that I can just, put the blade where I want it and cut, but I don't usually drag that to a crop with me. So when I'm in a crop, I just poke a hole in the center or in the edge there, trim it out the best I can, and then even it out with my trimmer to make the edges straight. And I'll just cover up the hole and it won't matter. Oops, we're upside down. I'm sorry for the glare. I was at a crop and the overhead lighting made a glare, but there wasn't anything I could do about it. So I actually turned this little piece into two tags that are going to go on top of the vertical strip of paper that's on the left. I also pulled out some clear definition stickers, thinking I might use those. And I just pulled this tag out of my bin so that I could use it as a pattern and get the angles right at the top. If I try to do the angles without a pattern, they're off enough that it bothers me. And now I'm going to make some little reinforcers for the holes in my tags. So I use my crocodile and punch out a hole, and then my 1/2-inch circle punch to punch that out, and I have my little reinforcers. And it looks like I dropped one. Oh, I must have found it. And at this point at the crop, I can't find my tweezers. So I'm using scissors as tweezers. I did eventually find them, but I have lost my favorite pair of tweezers. I do not know where they are. And it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks now since I've seen them. So I went ahead and bought some other tweezers, and then I found my backup pair. So now I have lots of sets of tweezers if I need more. I'm going to tuck this one behind the smaller photo, and I need to trim it off just a bit so it'll fit at the angle that I want. And same with this one, trim a little bit off that corner so it will tuck in there. And I have the paper that you see on the far right there is a cut apart sheet from a Simple Stories line. And there are two parts of that I'm going to use. And one, I'm going to trim out the words, and they're going to go in this upper tag. And that's going to make my title, which you'll see in a minute, is just going to be You Make Me Smile. There I go. Start to cut those out. This is my good friend who moved far away a few months ago. And I've been wanting a good picture of the two of us to scrapbook, so I'm happy to have this one and just document our friendship. For the journaling, I used some journaling. I cut out some strips with my die and just put the lyrics to a song about friends on there. And I'm not going to read it or I will cry. So I'm trimming out these little words. I always have trouble trimming out tiny things because I can't see very well on my trimmer, and sometimes they're crooked and I have to try to get them straight with my scissors, but I'm not very good at that either. So it took me a while to get these the way I wanted them. And also the word smile just barely fit there. I should have made that tag 1/8 of an inch wider. This page actually went together pretty quickly. And I didn't show it on the video, but I inked the edges of both pattern papers with, I think Morning Mist ink. And there we go. So that's where I want them. I'm going to glue those down. And I didn't think I had any twine or string with me, but then I realized I did have a little bit in a kit that came, so I was able to dig that out and go ahead and put some string through those tags so that they're not empty. I like to get it all done when I'm at a crop instead of leaving something to do when I get home, because sometimes if I do that, it just sits here for a long time and doesn't get done, and that bothers me. So this one, once I have this done, it'll be about ready to go on a page. And then I decide I want these 3 hearts to be a little embellishment, because I didn't do this. The layout's busy, it's bold, it's bright, so I didn't do a lot of embellishing. But I decided I wanted those hearts. So at first I cut them out all as one piece, and then I cut the center one out and popped it up so that it sits above the blue and the yellow. And now I'm looking through some bright things from my stash to see if anything sticks out. And I must be talking to somebody also. And I didn't really find anything else. But there's my journaling strips and the heart. And here's, I found the string. So I'll just thread that through the holes on my tags so they look nice and finished. And as I was putting the string away, I realized, hey, there's some buttons in this little kit too. And I decided those would work really nicely. They are black some of them, I mean, the buttons are white, but some of them have black trim and some of them have a lime green trim. And the coloring was perfect. I'm not sure why I only put 4 on here. I usually do embellishments in odd numbers, but I only have 4. So I'm winding down at this crop. This was one of the last pages that I did, and I ended up, I was there for Friday and Saturday, and I did 14 pages, which I had hoped to do 20, but I never do as many as I hope, so I was happy with the 14, and I like the pages that I did, and to me that's more important than the number of pages I get done, that I enjoyed the process and that I'm happy with what I have. I would rather do 14 pages that I like, that tell a story and that record something important to me, than crank out a whole bunch that I wasn't happy with. And there's the buttons. I think those came in a kit from 49 and Market. And the last thing that I do is find a little clear definition sticker of the word forever, and I put that down there because the song that I used for the lyrics, or the lyrics of the song, start out, "Friends are friends forever." And this is just about done. Off camera, I do write some things about my friend. And there are some still shots coming up, I believe. Thanks for joining me today. Goodbye.